what is the correct response to Secretary of State John Kerry when he says today that without this agreement, the only alternative is war? What's the correct response? Because obviously that's not true. What's the correct response to that?
Well, there's a risk of war if you stand up to a bully on the beach. He kicks sand in your face. If you stand up to him, you may get in a fight. Same in international affairs. But if you don't stand up to him, he runs the beach. You can either knuckle under, as I think this agreement does, to the Iranians, or you can stand against them. And we have been stripping away important parts of our military capability through the crazed budgetary process that we're in the midst of, sequestration.
But how do you think how do you think the agreement plays out over the next couple of years? What does Iran do with their $150 billion bonus from the United States? Does that end up in Hamas, Hezbollah's hands? And basically the gold rush that happens to Iran with the French, the Europeans, the US, companies trying to do business.
Well, the fifth word that I attached to them that I didn't get to was imperialist, and it is basically an answer to this question as well. Iran is today running 4 neighboring countries using its poodles like Assad and so forth. It's running Syria, it's running Lebanon, it's running a big chunk of Iraq, it's running Yemen through the Houthis, and it is got empire in mind. It's behaving imperially. And it will do so if it gets its 150 billion, because 150 billion here, 150 billion there, before you know it, it adds up. And with its 150 billion, it will, I think, move out quite smartly to dominate even more of the Middle East. Now, will they run into ISIS? Sure. Will ISIS and the Iranian poodles fight? They do sometimes, particularly in Iraq. Could we stand aside and watch them kill one another for a time? If we could manage that, if our diplomacy were crafty enough to get them doing what the Iranians and Iraqis were doing in the 80s and fighting year after year after year after year, that'd be actually a pretty good solution. But so far, I don't think our government has had the diplomatic subtlety required to get the Houthi, to get the ISIS and the Iranian poodles solidly and completely at war with one another. It would be great.